Hi everyone, Teacher Andrew here, settling into a canoe to read you a story in the garden. I'm going to read today, at the request of one of my good friends from my class, My Teacher is a Monster by Peter Brown. Just the other day I read the other Peter Brown book that I have, which is called Mr. Tiger Goes Wild. So you can think of this as coming from the same mind that came up with that book. It's by Peter Brown. On the cover here, you see Bobby, the protagonist, and he's saying, "My teacher is a monster." And then his teacher's saying, "No, I'm not." My teacher is a monster. No, I'm not. Bobby had a big problem at school. Her name was Ms. Kirby. And there he is, throwing a paper airplane in class, and she's going, "Robert!" Ms. Kirby stomped. "Move it or lose it." Ms. Kirby roared, "Settle down." Ms. Kirby was a monster. No recess for children who throw paper airplanes in class. Bobby spent his free time in the park, trying to forget his teacher problems. But one Saturday morning, on the way to his favorite spot, Bobby found a terrible surprise. Dun dun dun! Bobby wanted to run. He wanted to hide, but he knew that that would only make things worse. So you'll see here in this top frame, he is raising his hand. And Ms. Kirby says, "Robert, you really don't need to raise your hand out here. What were you going to say?" I was going to say, "Hello, Ms. Kirby." "Hello, Robert." I like your enormous hat, Ms. Kirby." "Thank you, Robert." "Ms. Kirby, it's really strange seeing you outside of school." "I agree." And in the last frame, they're just sitting in silence. There was an awkward silence. And then a gust of wind changed everything. "That's my favorite hat! My dear old granny gave it to me! Don't let it get away!" And then Bobby jumps up and catches it. "Got it!" "Oh, Bobby, you are my hero!" That was very good of you, Robert." "You're welcome, Miss Kirby." And then this little duck comes and goes, "Quack." So Bobby says, "Those ducks sure do like you." "Quack, quack, quack, quack." "They know I like quacking with them." "Quack, quack, 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 quack." "Quack, quack, quack." And then Bobby quacks too. "Quack, quack." And the little duckies go, "Quack, quack, quack, quack." When they were all quacked out, Bobby had an idea. "You should see my favorite spot in the park." "Be careful." "Yes, Miss Kirby." And then Ms. Kirby had an idea. "This is lovely," she says. And you might notice around here, Ms. Kirby is green or monster-like as she once was. She hands him a piece of paper to make a paper airplane. Bobby tossed his paper airplane into the sky, and it flew, and it flew, and it flew. I think that was the single greatest paper airplane flight in history. "I think you're right," says Miss Kirby. And does Miss Kirby look like a monster anymore? She does have one snaggly tooth. By lunchtime, Bobby and Ms. Kirby were happy that they had bumped into each other. But they were ready to say goodbye. See you Monday, Bobby. Bye, Ms. Kirby. Back at school, Ms. Kirby still stomped. Coming through! Ms. Kirby still roared. And then the bear said, "Roar!" But was Ms. Kirby still a monster? Great job, Bobby. And Bobby throws a paper airplane in class, and Ms. Kirby turns green and says, "Robert!" And if you didn't know, Robert is the full name of Bobby. So it's kind of like maybe your parents might say your full name if you're doing something that they would rather you not. And here's Peter Brown, the man who wrote the book, drawn as a monster. It's kind of funny. There he is. And there are Bobby and Miss Kirby in the park. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.